Welcome to the show. This is your host, David Yanez, and we're live here at the ICRS 2013 with another great guest. And we have Miss Pat Simmons. How are you doing, darlings?
I am wonderful. Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, not a problem. And she's written several books, and this is, I guess, her latest series, correct?
Yes, I have one book that came after this in March, but yep, you pretty much got it.
Oh, wow. This is amazing. This is Guilty by Association, The Guilt Trip, and I'm trying not to drop these, and Free from Guilt. Before we jump into these, I want to talk a little bit about yourself and just tell the video audience just who you are.
Well, I am the author of 10 novels now. They're Christian fiction, and my novels feature African American genealogy weaved in the storyline. I write about strong black families, strong black men, and these are men that some have compared to black Amish books.
Oh.
So I take that as a compliment. But I appreciate the fact that people enjoy it.
I just had the Amish off.
Oh, they did you? Right. Well, hey, now we have something else for you.
Lori was off. So, all right. So, okay, we'll go with that.
Okay.
With the Amish.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I'll take that.
So, what inspired you to write fiction?
Well, before I became an author, I was a romance reader. I love romance. I love happy endings. But I got tired of skipping pages so that I can get to the romance. And I wanted to write something clean. And all my stories are clean. I have scriptures sprinkled throughout as well as historical tidbits. But I wanted to give them a good story with my news background. I wanted to address issues. So each book is addressing an issue that always has a positive, happy ending.
All right, and that's good because a lot of the books and stuff and movies with the black African American is not positive.
That's correct.
And it's something that it's needed. I mean, there has to be a positive side of this stuff, but it seems like very unbalanced right now.
It absolutely.
And was that some of the reason of putting the genealogy in there and everything?
Absolutely, because I think as African American men, I think they get a bad rap. I've been married for 30 years to a good man. But how often do you hear about that? A lot of times you hear about black men not taking care of their families and not in the home. Yes, that happens, but there's black men that care about their families, that work 2 or 3 jobs. My husband's father had 8 children.
Wow.
And he took care of all of them, took them cross country every summer. People don't hear those stories. So I decided it may be a fairy tale to some, others may be able to identify, but I wanted to write a story about men that are out there.
Amen. And when you put this together, what's the genre in them as far as what is the theme?
Well, the theme in this one is, on the first one, Guilty by Association, I'm dealing with the angry male syndrome.
Angry male syndrome.
Right. And we've heard about these people are so angry and why, they have everything going for them. Why are they so upset? Why are they so mad? But that was actually based on some research I found. I do my own family's genealogy, and I uncover information that does not pertain to my family, but it's just too good to just not share. And with this one, he is angry because he did not have a father in the home. So he feels cheated that he didn't have something others didn't have. And so that's a relevant issue. There's a lot of single families here. And there's a lot of people that are acting up, they're angry, they're hurting inside, and we should not discount them. We should try to find out what the root of their anger is and minister to them and show them love. And in my character's case, he's Kevin Jameson, which is his father's name. His father never married his mother. Father wasn't around. Why does he have to carry his father's name? So he's angry, he's lashing out. But through genealogy research, the Jamesons track him down and they want to embrace him. And the more they try to embrace him, the more he fights back.
Okay.
They set him up with jobs. He doesn't want the job. Just for the sake of it, he quits the job. Then he gets a job at a nursing home, which of course he doesn't want to be at a nursing home. But there's an old lady there that begins to talk to him about slavery and other genealogy, which you would think would just make him angry. But I stumbled across the 1860 morbidity book from Mississippi that outlines the last name, the first name, how long you were alive, what you died of, the county, very detailed. I'm going through the book to find something, hopefully on my relatives, until I get to the last name N. Blew me away. And I said, oh my gosh, who would have thought this? this has to go in the book. When you died, if you did not have your slaveholder's name, or if you were not a free black, you were given a name, basically, when you died. And that name was Negro. Ann Negro, David Negro, Zachary, all the way down. So my character in this book says, but baby, you got a name. Just think of all the ancestors that died without a name, but you got a name. It's not the name that makes you, it's the man that you become that makes your name. And so that was the basis for Guilty by Association, and I'm just so glad that I found that tidbit. And all my genealogy tidbits I put in there, I always give a reference.
Okay, good.
I want people to challenge me. Go see if Pat knows what she's talking about. But more importantly, I want you to be able to talk to your parents. Find out about your ancestors, your strengths, your weaknesses. Find out about your great-grandparents and things of that nature. So I have to say that throughout all of my books that people are encouraged.
Yeah.
They are starting to talk to their relatives.
Oh, that's good. And is that what motive behind some of the
Yes.
the books that you're putting together here?
Yes, and to track down some of my relatives, and I can say that from the books that I have been able to find a couple of them too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Give us an example.
Well, one example is I met a young lady in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Who knew from reading my books that I'm really heavy into genealogy. And in the beginning of each books, I always do a dedication to my different families. I list the Coles, the Simmons, and all, those are my ancestors. And she says, hey, I'm getting ready to go to this Black History event in Kingfisher County. And I'm like, Kingfisher County? I said, I have ancestors from Kingfisher County. And she says, well, what are their names? I said, well, I have Coles. And she says, well, I'm going to this event that's honoring Laura Cole Baker. Is that your ancestor? I'm like, I don't know, but can you take pictures? Can you give me contact information, because she knows that I'm into genealogy from reading my books. She did better than that. She went to this event and started taking pictures of obituaries and other artifacts. And as soon as she emailed me, I said, oh my God, that's my Uncle John. And lo and behold, I am connecting with them at the end of next month.
Really?
But they know nothing about me. They know nothing about the side of the Coles. So I'm really, really, really excited. Really excited. And so that was one of the reasons for me putting genealogy in the book, was to track down my relatives. And another fascinating tidbit is, in honor of my ancestors, I decided to name one of my characters in each book after their name.
Okay.
I used Charlotte.
Okay.
That's my grandmother's name, and she was named after her grandmother, so I have 2 generations of Charlottes. So I needed a distinguished name for the last name. It couldn't be Simmons or Brown or Smith. Nothing's wrong with those names, but I wanted something that would just resonate with the reader. So I said, Jameson. That, I can make that a strong name.
Yeah.
So I picked that. So my character's name in my first books are, Park Jameson, Malcolm Jameson, and their name is Kid Jameson. Their mother's name was Charlotte Jameson.
Okay.
While I'm writing the book, I'm still researching. And I could not find Charlotte Wilkerson, my great grandmother.
Okay.
And I said, well, I know they lived. I'm here. I have her, 2 sons. Got a picture of them. And so I asked my genealogy friends. I said, hey, I've done all the searching. I can't find her. Can you help me? I gave them all the information. Came back to me a couple of days later, and they said, well, listen, the reason why you can't find Charlotte Wilkerson was because she was in the slaveholder's house, Robert Jameson. And my character's name is Charlotte Jameson. Had no idea. I said, okay, Lord, I'm getting the message. I'm on the right path. Exactly.
You're on the right track.
No one in my family knew we had Jamesons.
That's amazing. Now, how's the sales been helping? Has it been out there long, these books?
Yes, they're doing pretty good.
Okay,
For some reason, the latest book is just, people are really eating that up. And when people say, well, what do you pick from me? As an author, I'm the author of 10 novels.
Okay.
I always say, well, tell me something about you. And I always say, read the back of the book and tell me what jumps off at you. If you're not dealing with anyone that's rebellious in your family, that's not going to work for you. With this character, this is the rebellious brother. This is the carefree brother that says responsibility is optional. My father wasn't in the home. We turned out all right. You trapped me. You'll turn out okay. See you later. So if you have someone that is, in a single family home, then this is this. This one is, I kind of compare it to the Man versus Food sitcom where the man is trying to conquer all the food. I call it real crazy show. So I said, well, mine's is God's wisdom versus man's wisdom. And sometimes he conquers the food, sometimes the food conquers him. But in God's wisdom versus man's wisdom, man will never win.
Amen.
Never win against God. But when I wrote the book, you have these intellects.
Yeah.
People that have all these degrees, people that are genuinely smart, definitely. But yet they cannot comprehend the simplicity of God's salvation. And it takes a woman for that one.
I love her. She's awesome. Pat, please share your website information and any information you want to give them to get the books.
Sure. My website is patsimmons.net. .net is very important because if you go to patsimmons.com, I think I'm a Doobie Brother band player on that one.
Yes, you are.
Exactly, or a golfer. But you have to put .net. It's hard to get rid of me. I'm on Google. You Google author Pat Simmons, everything about me will come up, believe you me. My books are available in Barnes & Nobles and independent bookstores, as well as online at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and I think Kobo as well. Download them. And please, it's so important, fire me off an email. And don't forget to post a review, because one review can generate 2 or 3 or more sales.
Amen. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
It was great. Quick. It was sweet. Amen. We'll be right back with another great guest.